Okay, so here we go. Pleasant afternoon to each and every one, to my faithful audience. This afternoon, I have with me Tom Palladino. Did I say it
Yes,
correctly?
Paladino, thank you so much.
Yes. So,
Excellent.
Mr. Tom is a scholar, energy researcher hailing from Florida. He delves into the profound realm of scalar energy, the fundamental life force permeating every aspect of our world, space, and the universe. This incredible energy originates from the celestial bodies such as the sun, stars, known by various synonymous terms like chi, harana, om, mana, life force, pyramid energy, or 0 point energy. I will not spoil up your bio anymore. I will allow you to take it from here, Tom. So you do it better, and the audience will listen.
Uh,
So the floor is yours.
thank, thank you for the invite. Thank you.
Yes,
Happy New Year.
same to
Now,
you.
we're going to speak about energy and how energy can heal, but it's quite unique what I'm doing because I use instruments,
Okay,
scalar energy instruments. I'm in my laboratory. These instruments, one of them is behind me.
okay,
The light of God provides the healing. So
awesome.
this is a unique approach. My instruments are custom built, and with that, it's a new approach to energetic science. This is not Western medicine. I don't work with people or animals. I work only with energy.
Okay,
Okay. Now, furthermore, this is not electricity, so it does not behave like electricity.
it will not shut off and on,
That's
or you
correct.
have to turn it on or turn it off. Okay. Okay.
Why? Because it's the energy from the sun and the stars. You cannot shut off the stars.
Awesome. Awesome.
And with that in mind, when I work with these instruments, I don't work with people. I work with energy fields, or what we call the aura or the
Mm-hmm.
biofield. Okay. So
Right.
if this is flesh and blood, I don't work with people in the physical sense. I work with their energy field. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I access their energy field is on a photograph.
Wow. This is something new.
Yes, this is
Let me
groundbreaking
stop
tech.
you a little bit. How long this been around? Are you the inventor of this? I didn't
Uh,
mean to interrupt, but I'm so
all right,
curious.
it's all right.
Yeah.
I am the inventor of this technique. Now, that's an instrument, a scalar energy instrument. The instruments have been fabricated for the past 100 years. So I'm not the original fabricator, not the original inventor.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, this is a technique that I discovered with this instrument. So this is groundbreaking research. I
Mm.
don't think anybody in the world has this type of instrument with my approach. So my approach is unique.
Okay.
And again, to be clear, when I work with people, I work with their photograph.
Wow. Very
People
unique.
people send me a photograph. They don't visit me. I don't work with people in person. I work with photographs. Now, by way of an analogy, we're having a computer conversation. Okay. Obviously, Sonia, you're not in my computer, it's your image.
Right.
Well, when a person sends me their photograph, I place their photograph inside the instrument,
Okay.
okay, and I access their image or their energy field on the photograph. Now, if you and I can have a conversation, excuse me, by Zoom, and we don't have to be physically present, I can have a conversation with a person by way of their photograph.
Mm.
So this is not a biological session. This is not an in-person session. I work with energy, and the energy is found on the photograph.
I'm learning.
Okay. So
Very
with that
unique.
with that in mind, I can do incredible things with this instrument, and I'll explain. Um, as we move through this conversation.
Okay, so you're not working with the person itself, the photograph or the imagery. So from the imagery, what you get the light, you get what do you get from that image? I need to know.
So if I was in person with this, if you will,
It would be
instrument,
physical.
yeah, I'd have to be inside the instrument. Well, the instrument's not designed to work with people. It's designed to work with photographs. One photograph or the photograph of 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can have a conversation remotely by way of Zoom call and your image and my image share, again, it's our images, it's our communication through telecommunications, if you will. And I can communicate with a person through their photograph.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because their energy field is on a photograph. So I'm actually in two places at once. I could
Okay.
be here in my laboratory and I could also be at a distance in my instrument.
So do you consider yourself omnipresent? Like
Very good. So I'm bilocating to two places.
by
So if I,
locating, so that
yes,
you're not omnipresent, but you're by locating.
yes.
Okay,
If
awesome.
if you sent me your photograph and I
Yeah.
placed your photograph inside the instrument, then you're in two places at once. And that
Okay.
you can only do that by God's light, by God's power.
Mm-hmm.
And you use the right frame, the right terminology. This is omnipresence. So this energy allows us to enter into the omnipresence of
Mm-hmm.
God. You're right. That's what we're doing.
Okay. But yeah, I understand that, but you don't consider yourself as God.
No,
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
no,
Because
no.
audience listening, and I don't want people go with the wrong concept.
Yeah,
So I'm just trying to make things smooth and clear so that everybody could, understand.
I understand.
Okay,
So I'm working with God's energy.
right.
Only God is divine. And that's a good point. If this instrument can behave in that function, this is divine energy. It's nothing like electricity. Now,
Awesome.
I'm going to demonstrate how powerful the instrument is. I'm holding up a fluorescent tube, and this tube is still in its plastic package.
Mm-hmm.
I This tube will illuminate. This tube will light up under the influence of scalar energy. If I place this fluorescent tube by the instrument, it illuminates under the influence of scalar energy. That's how
Okay.
much that's how much power is coming off of that instrument. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the new science of working with God's light, the light of the sun and the stars. It's not a it's not electricity. This is not an electrical function.
So, tell me how does this works for us or for humans, and what sickness can it helps?
Okay. So the first thing I do with this energy, if somebody sends me their photograph, I place the photograph inside the instrument and
Mm-hmm.
they enjoy the white light of God. If you can imagine energy that's powerful enough to illuminate that light bulb, that same energy, that identical energy is going into my brain waves, or what some people call their chakras. So people are happy. When I start working with them, this energy makes people happy. It improves their disposition.
Mm.
Some people say that they can give up an addiction to cigarettes or alcohol, all through this energy system, all through scalar energy. Okay?
Mm.
Now, there's another technique. Let's say I want to eradicate a bacterium. I can eradicate germs. How do I do that? If I were to take my photograph and place it side by side a photograph of a bacterium, in practice, these two energy fields, those two photographs communicate with one another. If I had this bacterium Streptococcus mutans, the instrument would find that bacterium and remove it, destroy it, eradicate it. All of that is done through the photographic presence. It's not an in person session, it's working with the energy field. So it's much easier to work with a person's energy field than it is to work with somebody in person. Okay. So this
Okay,
is
I'm
this is
listening.
not this is not a chemical reaction. It's information. It's all non-physical action. Now, it's much easier for you and I to speak by Zoom, so you don't have to travel 1,000 miles to speak to me.
Right.
You and I are having a conversation. And once again, I am not speaking directly to you. I'm speaking to your energy field, to your image. In other words, you're not in my computer. It's your photograph that's in my computer. So I can see Sonia right now. Obviously, we're having this Zoom call by way of information. And likewise, if you have these two photographs inside an instrument, they communicate by way of information or intelligence.
It's something like AI.
Yeah, you could say so. Yeah. But I wouldn't call it artificial intelligence. I'd call it God's intelligence.
Okay. So why is light healing the future? Why is light? It's one of your questions, healing the future of healing.
Because we don't involve chemicals. We work with light only. We don't involve anybody's judgment. There is no judgment to this work. Light, energy, the light of God never makes a mistake. When I place my photograph in the instrument, there's a download, there's a connection of light. And that light always carries out its function. So there's no human room for error. There's no chemical involved. There's no, if you will, downside of electromagnetic energy. It's pure light that never makes a mistake. It's divine light from God.
So how can someone so what's the purpose of the scalar light? Like, say for instance, how you work for people
Yeah,
and what kind of people you work for. I mean on the
yeah.
health wise.
People from all walks of life will email me their photograph. Once again, we only work with photographs. I can work with one photograph. I can work with a million photographs. So, what do I? What's my point? My projection is we can work with people around the world without their physical presence, not by working with them in a biological sense, but working with their force field or their energy field. So this is a new science in which we leave behind the physical world, and we only work with Christ consciousness. We only work with non-physical force fields. It's so much easier as a way of this analogy. If I had to travel to your office to have this conversation, I'd have to get on a plane. I'd have to allot a day to travel from my home to your home,
Mm-hmm.
1,000 miles away, to make this conversation one on one with you. Well, I I don't want to do that. I'd much rather have a Zoom call. And people would much rather send me their photograph to have a session, not an in person session, but an energetic session.
Mm-hmm. So I see here you speak a lot about healing, right? You speak of spirituality, you speak of mind-body connection. Could you give me some more information on the mind-body connection?
I believe that mind body connection, it can only be explained by scalar energy. So, in other words, if we do have a mind and a body, what connects it and what gives us that intelligence? I believe that intelligence can only be explained by the intelligence of scalar energy. For instance, I come from a Christian background. I believe everybody has a soul. I believe the soul, the spirit, is non physical. I believe that's the light of God. Now, you can't describe a soul, a spirit, in biological terms. It's not biological. So the language of spirituality is scalar energy. The language of this science, this new science, is not biological, it's spiritual. I work with a spiritual energy. I don't work with chemicals. And with that, we're on a higher level. If this is a spiritual realm, this is a physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual realm connects and communicates to everything. I work on the spiritual level.
So without the spiritual, I should say, or without the mind connecting to the body,
Yep.
then there would be an imbalance. Am
Correct.
I correct?
Yes, yes. So this light, the light of God, will correct everything: soul, mind, and body. Now keep in mind, there's no human interface here. I'm not the operator. I'm not the healer. I work with divine energy. God, the divinity, heals soul, mind, and body. So you have to have God to create the soul, the mind, and the body. And this energy captures that light of God. So if we use this appropriately, we can access and heal the soul, the mind, and the body. Now, I can prove my work so far, not in a biological sense, but I can prove my work in an informational sense on a photograph. I can't prove anything biologically. I can't prove anything in person because I never work with anybody in a biological sense. So I'm leaving behind Western medicine. I'm leaving behind Newtonian physics. I'm on a higher level of spirituality.
Okay, so who are some of these people that can be healed, or some of the sicknesses that can, be healed through scalar energy?
For instance, if I were to take this photograph of the HIV virus and place it next to my photograph or anybody's photograph who's HIV positive, the intelligence, the light of God will find the HIV virus as a signature in me, in my force field. In other words, everything has a signal and intelligence. If I had the HIV virus, this instrument, this light, would locate, identify the HIV virus, and then remove it or bring it to a state of chaos. So the way I can assure this process is not by human reasoning, but by taking photographs of viruses, having them communicate with my photograph. It's all a spiritual communication, it's non physical. And the non physical information of HIV enters into my spirit or into my force field because
What's
the force field is higher than the biological field.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask you, the definition of that,
Yep.
but you already said it. So what about disease like cancer?
Not yet, but I hope God gives me the wisdom. I believe God's energy. I believe we should be able to cure anything with God's energy, God's light.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, anything.
So in your practice, how many years have been practicing?
Practicing 30 years involved a total of 50 years with research.
So what are some of the diseases or sicknesses you see cured, or
I,
this scalar energy helps
if I,
someone to
I,
recover from certain illness?
good question. I cannot say cured in a biological sense. I only can say that working with their photograph, people tell me they no longer have viruses or bacteria through their, if you will, follow up or through their uh, lab reports or through their symptomology, through their experience. So, to be clear, I cannot make any per se medical claims because I don't work with people. I work with force fields or photographs. But
I
I can say that the people that I've worked with tell me that they feel better. So there's no way for me to prove this in a medical setting that what I'm doing is working because this is not medicine. I have to rely upon people's testimonies for them to speak as to how they feel.
Exactly. So this is
Yes, very,
this is what I'm trying to ask you, based on
yes,
reviews after working for
yeah.
individuals.
Here's a re-
What's some of
here's
the
a re-
results?
here's a review. After working with this person who was HIV positive, this
Mm-hmm.
person had a follow-up PCR test.
Mm-hmm.
And according to this person, they no longer have a viral load for HIV. Okay?
Okay.
So, to be clear, this is a new science that cannot be proven. There's no way to test a photograph
Mm-hmm.
in, in, in a biological sense. The only way I can test a photograph is with scalar energy.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's no way of proving this in a biological sense. I can only rely upon testimonies of people. And with that in mind, as a new science, there's no direct proof. I'm going to repeat that. As a new science, we can't measure the energy. We cannot prove that it exists, nor can we prove that it's actually helping people. We have to rely upon test results or testimonies from people who tell us that after working with us, they no longer have a viral load for a virus or they feel better.
So what is the time frame between this scalar energy? Once, okay, I send in my picture, right? You receive the picture today or say tomorrow. Say for instance, you receive the picture tomorrow. What are the time frame between me sending you the picture and going to the doctor and getting a result? A
Most
month,
people
3 months, 6 months?
most people say within the first month they feel better. Yeah, let's say if somebody wants to go to the physician and they want to see if they have any viral load for herpes or HIV. I usually recommend wait for 3 or 4 months, see how you feel. And then some people, they feel inclined, and after 3 or 4 months of sessions, they'll go and they'll get a follow up test, in this case, a PCR test. But I leave that all up to people. I want to make this clear. The biological tests, the laboratory tests, cannot directly prove or disprove my work. It's an indication that something favorable has happened. But when you're working with the aura, the spirit body, you can really only rely now on testimonies of people because nobody can measure the spirit. Nobody can say, well, this spirit energy makes me feel better. So it's all word of mouth right now. There is no formula to test this. There is no formal technique to test this process.
So, Tom, what you said you have a religious background, right?
Yes.
So, what is it has motivated you to start this profession or have pick up such career? Tell me what has motivated you.
God motivated me because I saw the great promise here. If God is light, and I'm working with God's light, then I should be able to help people. And that's what my invention, what my technique can do. Help people, at least in a spiritual dimension. If it's ever proven that this has medical benefits, well, then I can't prove that. I don't know who can, frankly, prove that. But my goal, my overarching goal has always been to help people.
Okay.
Well,
Um, yeah, I know the word of God said God is a spirit, and they that worship him. I don't want to go into too much of Bible because I don't want to offend anyone. This is a open public platform. However, I mean, I just don't want to go in depth. However, the Bible says God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So I'm
yes,
saying this to say that um, sounds like you're working in the spiritual realm.
yes, I am.
You're working like in the spiritual realm, and you have a connection with God in doing so.
Yes, I do. Thank you. That's the best way to put it. So we're working at that higher realm. We're not working at the biological realm, the physical realm. We're working at spirit. Thank you so much. That's very astute of you. And this is what I like about my work. I don't have to worry about a pimple or an allergic reaction or a food allergy. I don't work with flesh and bones, flesh and blood. I work with spirit. And this spirit energy helps people. And many people say that they see an improvement in their health that I believe in.
We have like 9 minutes. There's a question at the bottom here. Why scalar energy is to human enhancement as photosynthesis
Yes.
is to planets? And
Okay.
it's a
Well,
two-part question. And what is the true importance of this energy to our well-being?
okay. Well, remember, light is everything. All action, the universe begins with God's design, God's light. So light is a first principle. Light is a first cause. Now, it's always been my contention that light, scalar light, is responsible for plant growth, for photosynthesis. A scientist by the name of Hieronymus, he's actually my predecessor, was able to grow plants in his basement in the dark with scalar energy instruments. So Hieronymus proved that the light of Jesus Christ grew plants in the dark, not direct sunlight, scalar light from God. Now, he proved that on a number of occasions. What's the point? That scalar light, scalar energy is responsible for everything, including photosynthesis. And if we have this light of God all the time surrounding us, then that should help us soul, mind, and body. And that should likewise help us in a biological sense. I think the world is just starting to realize that light energy is starting to help us in that profound biological sense. But so much work needs to be done to take it from the spirit world and to connect it to the biological world, to the physical world. I hope we can do that someday. We'll see.
How large are your clientele?
Oh, we have thousands of people around the world. The energy is proving to be quite successful, and people like it. So we're very popular in North America. We're really actually expanding now to Europe. We're becoming very popular.
Okay, I want to dip a little bit. So, say for instance, an individual, because a light enhances the whole world, and the light is there for everybody because Christ is the light of the world. For an individual who is not connected or don't have that personal connection with Christ, would that hinder the person healing?
No, no, nothing can stop this energy. Nothing can block scalar energy. Nothing can impede this energy. And with that in mind, it's sunlight or starlight. Well, what can stop sunlight or starlight? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
Okay, it's very unique, very interesting. You want to tell people how they can reach you,
Yep.
probably your website, give the audience some information of how they can reach you, just in case they're interested in the scalar energy.
So I, I offer on my website 15 days of free sessions. Anybody can upload, email us your photograph. All we need is a bus shot. The website is scalarlight.com. Now, I would encourage you, with your family's permission, to send their photograph also and photographs of your pets, your dogs, and your cats. I believe scalar energy is beneficial to everybody. I have, for instance, I have two dogs and they're on scalar energy all the time and they feel great. So send me your photographs. Email us your photographs. For 15 days, we'll provide free sessions. I say that the greater majority of people feel better. After 15 days, there's an improvement in their health. So try it.
So is it a free trial
Yes,
or
it's free.
the 15 days is a free trial?
Yep, no questions asked, no credit card. Just go to the website scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Visit us, upload your photograph. We will work with you for free for 15 days. Now, there's three things we do. We're going to balance your chakras. Remember how I could illuminate a light bulb? We're going to balance your chakras with light. We're going to look for and we're going to eradicate the intelligence, the energy of viruses and bacteria. And then the third modality, I haven't spoken about this, I'll be very quick. I take photographs of nutrients such as vitamins and I match them up with my photograph. Now, remember, it's not a chemical process, it's an energetic process in which vitamin, okay, riboflavin B2 is downloaded into my quantum field. This is how I receive my vitamins, not by a multivitamin, but by energy. So I think eventually we're going to see that you can receive vitamins not only through supplements, but through energy.
Mm.
Okay? Why? Because the spirit field is capable of receiving vitamins just as the biological field. There's no impediment, frankly, in the spirit field. I would much rather receive my vitamins through the spirit, through a photograph, than biologically in person.
Awesome, awesome. So you work by yourself or you have a team there with you?
I'm the only researcher. I have a team that gives me support. We have a support desk, if you will, that answers questions. But I'm the only researcher. Now, Sonia, that's a drawback because I want other people to get involved. Sadly, I'm the only researcher who's pursuing this line of work.
So you're open if someone would like to be a part of your team and you're open to train people to do this?
Yes, but here's the key consideration. Are they willing to spend hours upon hours doing this? Does somebody want to make this a career? This is not easy. This is taking me 50 years to understand. I work at this every day. Science is difficult. This is work.
By
Cutting
any
edge.
chance, did you study science in school
Oh,
or no?
all the time. That's all I studied, frankly.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
uh,
Okay.
so the long story short is, I welcome anybody. But how many people, to be quite blunt, how many people want to spend 10, 20, 30 years to study something and not receive necessarily a paycheck or any satisfaction from a corporation or any remuneration from a, if you will, a laboratory or a corporation? To this day, I barely get by. So it's a labor of love. You have to be willing to do this for God's glory and the benefit of mankind. Cutting edge technology is wonderful, but it's laborious, it's time consuming, and initially you can't make money out
Wow. Wow. We have shared a great 30 minutes together, Tom. I really appreciate your elaborate on this great scientific energy scholar information that can help help myself and anyone else who are in the hearing of this presentation. It's great. I'm very curious, and I was curious to learn more. And now that I delve in it with you, I sit and I listen and I get the whole overview of it. I know that there are other people who are curious out there. So I just want to let my audience know that they're welcome to share their views on any topic that is on my podcast, your destiny disguise, anything that you're not sure about, or you hear something on our platform that you want more to it. Don't be afraid to reach out. I have the Q&A answer on my platform. You can ask questions, you can share your opinion and your views as we bond together and strive. And my podcast is open so that people can learn, people can share, people can interact and hear more from each other. So I just want to say thanks to the audience for tuning in, and thanks to you, Tom, for sharing your time to elaborate on such a significant topic. Thank you so much.
of. Thank you, son. My joy, my pleasure.
Thank you.